Hezbollah has confirmed the death of its leader, Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah, in Israeli strikes that have been rocking Beirut since Friday. So who was Hassan Nasrallah? What was his role in the conflict that has been raging in West Asia? Nasrallah led the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah for the past 3 decades. He transformed it into one of the most powerful paramilitary groups in West Asia. Under the leadership of the 64-year-old, Hezbollah has fought many wars against Israel. It has also taken part in the conflict in neighboring Syria. Seen by his supporters as a charismatic and shrewd strategist, Nassrallah reshaped Hezbollah into what analysts and experts would say an archenemy of Israel. He cemented alliances with Shiite religious leaders in Iran and Palestinian militant groups such as Hamas. Nassrallah was idolized by his Lebanese Shiite followers and respected by millions of others across the Arab and Islamic world. He was a fiery orator, viewed as an extremist in the US and much of the West. Despite the power he wielded, Nassrallah lived largely in hiding in the past years, wary of possible Israeli assassination. Let's now talk about his early years and how he rose to power.
Nasrallah was born in 1960 into a poor Shiite family in an impoverished suburb of Beirut and was later displaced to South Lebanon.
He studied theology and joined the Amal movement, a Shiite political and paramilitary organization. In the summer of 1982, Iranian Revolutionary Guards came to Lebanon to fight invading Israeli forces. They formed Hezbollah, the first group which was backed by Iran. Over time, Hezbollah became part of a cluster of Iranian-backed factions and governments known as the Axis of Resistance. Meanwhile, Nassrallah built his power base. In February 1992, the previous leader of Hezbollah, Sayyid Abbas Musawi, was killed in an Israeli helicopter gunship raid in South Lebanon. 2 days later, Hezbollah chose Nassrallah as its Secretary General. 5 years later, the United States designated Hezbollah a terrorist organization. Under Nassrallah, Hezbollah was credited with leading the war of attrition that led to the withdrawal of Israeli troops from South Lebanon in 2000 after an 18-year occupation. After Israelis' withdrawal, Nassrallah rose to iconic status both within Lebanon and throughout the Arab world. His messages were beamed on Hezbollah's own radio and satellite TV station. A day after the Israel-Hamas war started, on October 7, Hezbollah began attacking Israeli military posts along the border, calling it a backup front for Gaza. In speeches throughout the conflict, he argued that Hezbollah's cross-border strikes had distracted Israel from the war in Gaza. He also insisted that Hezbollah would not halt its attack on Israel until a ceasefire is reached in Gaza. Over the past weeks, he continued to strike a defiant tone as tension rose, dramatically with Israel announcing a new phase in the conflict intended to push Hezbollah back from the border to allow thousands displaced from northern Israel to return.